Alright. Good morning again, people. Wow, I just felt like I was having a, Walter Cronkite moment or something, or from the commentator stance down in the woods. I got my coffee, I just got it out, put on some bacon. My heart was wanting to go over to the next town over and have a little breakfast at the cafe, which is very nice. But with the sniffles and the weather looking, I may wish later that I'd gone, because being housebound can really suck. And I do have an appointment coming up soon, this next week, but it'll probably be pretty much straight there and back, unless we grab some dinner, which I'm hoping we can do. At least grab me some burgers in a bag to bring home and nuke later, 45 seconds to happiness and something in the tummy. Alright, so I was really getting down to it with the last one. And if it had been my husband doing these instead of me, I'm pretty sure it would be already done. He'd be done with it. Because he had been a really good researcher for several years before I even, picked up the ball in any court to do anything near the same. I had written letters to the editor. I'd helped him write some stuff for another paper, as some of you had known, and that I had mentioned. But as far as, no, I'm not him. He's done a lot of different things in his life, and I think research is probably one of his favorites, especially if it goes into the history. Okay, but this stuff here goes back, oh wow, when did they form that place? The kids had been there 4 years when we got them in 93. So they were kind of like part of the backbone of the place. Maybe not, I don't know. They knew a lot about it, and we talked a lot about it. And because we had our AA experience, the one group liked to do the candlelight meetings, for the night meetings, like once a month or something, because sometimes people feel a little more comfortable if others around them can't look right at them and, stare at them and pin them down with their eyes some other way. They just feel a little more at ease speaking in the candlelight. It's a psychological thing somehow. I'm not sure of how to explain that, but they just feel more comfortable, okay? Pardon me. So we brought that same idea to our dining table. Well, also we didn't have electricity in that room after a while. Something fried somehow, I don't know. Alright. So, a lot of the wall sockets would work, but the ceiling stuff, Right, on different breaker or something. Decided, okay, that's a nice homey touch, like candles. Get the family talking, right? That's what it's supposed to be all about anyway. So they get to telling us stuff, And believe it or not, it might be hard for some to believe, but I can listen. But at times I get so tense that I don't have any other way to loosen up that massive tightness except to run my mouth. And I know it's irritating because it's been irritating to me when other people go through that kind of thing. And yeah, I try to soft pedal some of this stuff. Just cautiously going along. Okay? I don't mean to be stepping on someone's toes. But some of this stuff needs said straight out. That commune is connected to that prosecutor who could now also actually be a judge. It's been that long. Okay? And I know how it was in a different county, and I won't say the name, but they can get pretty buddy-buddy. Some might even go so far as to call it collusion, which means, for those of you who don't know, collusion is in bed with. Okay, like, for instance, the chief of police and the prosecutor's little sister who's an EMT, they run the same circuit. They go to the same clubs. They're contacts with the same bunch, the same people. They're in it up to their eyeballs together, okay? Because they're buddy-buddy. The good old boy system is what some call that. In cahoots. So there she was, all that time. Now you gotta know from that, because of the way things actually just work. Okay? I don't know about this county. I really don't want to know how things work in that way in this county. I don't want to know. I think it's better that I don't know. The only reason I know up there is because back in the day when I ran track, the guy who's now a judge, who was the prosecutor in 95 against my spouse, ran track too. And even for a long time after that, they were known to be runners, okay? That's where I got my thing from them. From the public school system there. And there was a lot of crap going on even then. That pauses me lighting a stogie, aka cigarette. Oh, I made my coffee too strong, oh my god. Alright. I know how it works from that. That bunch. And there was always a lot of animosity with the different ones. Until I was to the point that I was just glad to tell it goodbye. I'm not in anymore, shut the door on it. Went through the different health regimes or regimens. Got married. Hung in there with 12 and 12 self-help groups with my spouse. Held the little offices. I had mine, he had his. Had the keys, which I covered that a little bit in another different screencast, about how I thought at one time that Denise, the social worker, really had her eye on those keys. Like she thought, well, she's doing a good thing too, to expose whoever we were trying to expose at the time, or the whole guacamole, man. The whole tamale. And that if I could get in out of it and go have church sanctum, if I could claim church sanctum through there, then she ought to be able to claim church sanctum too. Well, sometimes it's not always two, okay? And I got kind of, and I'm sorry, but I got pissy. That's a whole nother screencast about that defender's wife, the secretary, putting that word on a court document to describe me. Pissy about this Me Too thing. And I was like firing it back in my mind, non-verbally. Well, why don't you just get your little 2-year-old thing down the road? 2, you're like a juvenile. Me too. It's juvenile. It's age 2. Even though the two separate uses of the word two aren't that, okay? It's a mess. Maybe if it weren't in my mind that way, that it had really eaten our lunch and destroyed our life, and someone else had a hold of it and was trying to explain it, get it out there, that it wouldn't come across like it's probably coming across now from me and my channel, if it were anybody else. But so far, it really isn't anybody else. There's a few on FactNet. I mentioned that. There are a few on a couple other, and I'll just look at my videos. You'll find the links, or I'll put them there somehow. And maybe the discussion. They still do give us the discussion area. You can't do the private messages anymore, but I wish people with info about it would contact me instead of me having to happen along to find it, like as a book review. That was strange, but I'm glad I found it, because I don't know what I don't know. See, it's a mess. I do, though, think it's fair that people get warned about that place. It was kind of late for that dad, though, who said his daughter had started toward there. Now, I don't know if she was hitching or if she was in a car, if she had a phone, if he could give her the info before she got there and, give her the info in time before she actually moved in. Because on the website it says there's an application process, an approval process. And as far as I know, again, there are no blacks up there. So you can say they're segregated if you want to. As far as that goes, they don't. From remembering what I saw on their website, they don't extend the invitation to exclusively white or exclusively Jewish or exclusively anyone. It's just there, but then that approval process, they're allowed to visit for a short extended time. Let's see, if he could stop her from, say she was still 200 or 300 miles away from the place, right? And he got my message at his AOL email account, me sharing with him what I knew, and he was able to forward or shoot that info to her in time, even up to the point of them being 2 blocks from it.